They told him one thing before he entered the courtroom. If you speak, don't expect to walk out the same. The words weren't shouted. They didn't need to be. They were delivered softly, almost kindly. Like advice you give someone you know is already in trouble. Darius Coleman nodded, even though his throat was dry. He'd learned long ago that nodding was safer than arguing. Darius never planned to be brave. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't an activist. He wasn't looking to change the world. That night, he was just trying to get home. It was late. The kind of late where the city feels hollowed out, like everyone has agreed to disappear at the same time. The street was quiet, too quiet. No music, no laughter, just the faint buzz of a streetlight flickering above him. That was when his instincts spoke. Before his mind could catch up, his body slowed. His shoulders tightened. Something in the air felt wrong. Then he heard it. Shouting. Low at first. Urgent. Angry. A struggle followed, shoes scraping against pavement. A voice begging, another one barking orders. Darius ducked behind a parked car without thinking. His breath caught somewhere between his chest and his fear. And then, the gunshot. One sharp crack that split the night open. Everything froze. Darius pressed himself against the cold metal of the car, heart pounding so loudly he was certain it would betray him. His hands trembled. His knees felt weak. He told himself not to look. But he did. Under the harsh white glow of the streetlight, he saw the body collapse. Saw the smoke curl briefly from the gun's barrel. Saw the man holding it. And then he saw something worse. Another man standing beside him. Not hiding. Not panicked. Calm. A man people respected. A man whose face appeared on campaign posters and charity events. A man with power. Their eyes met for a fraction of a second. That was all it took. The shooter turned away. The other man didn't. He simply stared, long enough for Darius to understand one thing very clearly. You weren't supposed to see this. By the time the sirens came, Darius was already gone. He didn't run. He walked. Slowly. Casually. Like a man with nothing to hide. That night, he didn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, the sound came back. The gunshot. The body hitting the ground. The look in that man's eyes. Measured. Calculating. Certain. The next morning, the news called it an unsolved incident. By afternoon, they had moved on. By evening, someone knocked on Darius's door. The man was polite. Well-dressed. Smiled like a neighbor borrowing sugar. He didn't threaten Darius. He didn't have to. Some truths, the man said calmly, glancing around the apartment, destroy more lives than they save. Then he smiled again, and left. After that, the fear settled in. Not the loud kind. The quiet kind. The kind that follows you to work. The kind that watches you from across the street. The kind that makes every unfamiliar car feel like a warning. Darius tried to forget. He threw himself into routines. Work. Sleep. Repeat. But the memory didn't fade. It waited. And every night, it returned, uninvited. When the trial was announced months later, Darius told himself it didn't concern him. Plenty of witnesses. Plenty of evidence. He stayed quiet. Until the courtroom day came. He sat in the back, hands clasped so tightly his fingers ached. The room buzzed with murmurs, impatience, certainty. Lawyers spoke. Witnesses spoke. And then the judge asked, "Are there any witnesses left who wish to come forward?" Silence. The kind that presses against your ears. Darius felt it in his chest. The weight. The pull. He thought about his job. His apartment. His life as it was. He thought about the body under the streetlight. And before fear could stop him, he stood. The courtroom went silent. All eyes turned. The powerful man's face didn't change. But his eyes did. Darius spoke anyway. Every word cost him something. After that day, things unraveled fast. He lost his job. Then his apartment. Then the illusion of safety. But something else happened too. For the first time since that night, he could breathe. Because even though the world punished him for telling the truth, Silence no longer owned him. So now the question isn't about Darius. It's about you. If the truth cost you everything, would you still speak? Or would you choose silence? Just to survive?